Okay. Okay. Item 3 on the consent agenda.
Motion.
Got a motion
Second.
and a second and a roll call. Mr. Higgins?
Yes.
Lee?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Tim?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Before the public comments there, Mr. Tillner?
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, I have Randy Server who would like to come before and he'll answer any question that you need. But what it is, we're looking to provide an amendment to the DARA, which would allow him to service just the Slate Creek area, which would be considered like his district where he's located here on Slate Creek. And if you look, we laid a packet in front of you. The cover copy tells the only thing that needs to be done. You need to delete as needed at the bottom, and then the amendment there at the top paragraph. Did you read over it a little bit, Lee?
Yeah, I did, and I mean, whatever the board decides to do, you do have the right to amend it. I would note that the amended document would have to be signed off on by all the rescue squads and fire departments.
As Ron Kendrick looked at this, was that what somebody told me he'd looked at it?
Well, that's, Lee said that according to Mr. Kendrick, that we as a governing body can draft this and draw it up any way that we need to.
Right, and I put it to Mr. Kendrick in regards to what the issue was with Rescue 33, that they would have a unit designated for just 911 calls, that they would just be able to answer a call, a 911 call when they were available. And he went up the ladder to whoever he had to talk to and indicated that he was told that the locality could, it was within your discretion to allow that by an amended here.
To allow what now? This?
To allow Rescue 33 to participate in 911 calls, but not be required to have a separate unit 24/7 designated for 911.
I thought they were already doing it.
Now you all amended the DERA and the ERP back in, I think, August of last year. At that time, I think Rescue 33 had an area, a primary area, but the problem was because they would, they only had them, they couldn't designate a unit separately for 24/7 just for 911. They weren't always available to answer the calls when it was in their area.
Right, we took them off the list, and we had an additional meeting after that, and we added them back to allow the dispatch to call, did we not?
I think that's what this is about.
We had that, I mean, Randy, you would remember, did we not add you back to allow you to answer 911 calls?
Oh, we did, but, as it reads, it was on a priority basis, so whatever dispatch deemed as priority, like a fatal car crash, heart attacks, things of a greater magnitude.
We discussed that, like if I was in a car wreck right up here in front of your house, and I'd wait for Prager to come get me, I was gonna be upset with him if I lived through it, obviously.
Yes.
So, I thought that was resolved.
Not entirely, no.
Mr. Chairman, if I may real quick, Alan has talked with, I'm sorry, I was using first name, Sheriff Boyd has discussed this with Randy, and I think Sheriff Boyd is on board with this, the drafting of this, the way it's amended, if I'm understand correctly. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I mean, if it gets somebody help quicker, I mean, that's what we're for.
Yeah, we had an issue the other night that this came up, and it is what it is, and it could have saved probably 22 minutes.
But actually came up again Sunday, too.
Yeah, so that's twice in the last, 4 or 5 days that, we could have saved some time. And I'm just going to state real quick that if it was their parent, my elderly mother, your elderly parents laying there, I'd hate to know that they had to lay there 22 minutes when we had an ambulance that could have got there 22 minutes sooner, just because of the way the previous policy was stated. So with,
I'm still confused on the, I mean, I was sitting in the meeting, if I remember correctly, I made the motion to allow you why would dispatch not call you if we had to wait 22 minutes on an ambulance?
There's a little, confusion on the, what priority means. That's open for interpretation. So, if it's not deemed priority, then we just kind of get overlooked.
Can I speak on?
Rob,
Alan, okay, Alan can speak, can
Yes,
he?
yes.
Yeah.
So basically, as it was before, it was at the dispatcher's discretion on what the priority call for them to be called out on. There's gonna be mistakes if you leave it up to somebody to make a decision on information they're getting over the phone as what the priority call. So from my understanding, and if I'm wrong, Randy, you can correct me, but, this will fix it to where they will mark in and out of service with dispatch. And when they're in service, they'll answer any 911 call that comes up. That way there's no deciding which call is the call that they're needing.
In their designated area.
In their designated area.
Yes.
and the designated area will be Slate Creek.
I was thinking what we had before, but I mean, that's kind of, when I wrote that, I kind of left that up for interpretation on your own behalf, whatever you all like.
What was the area, do you remember?
My area was from the top of the mountain at West Virginia, all the way down Slate Creek, both sides of the road, Grundy to about Cowtown-ish, maybe a little further, on down all the way to Kentucky, both sides of the road until we hit Poplar Creek Bridge, and then it was the right side of the road on down to Kentucky. Big Rock, I think it was supposed to be to the top of the mountain, and all of Home Creek back to Roseanne. So pretty much.
Look, I have no problem with bringing in, I don't know that, now that we've got ambulance services, covering some of those, I think, we can work to, adjust the designated, per se, area. And I don't think Randy's gonna have any problem with that either. Because, we've got Russell Prater that's, they can cover the lower end down there quick now with the new road. You've got Hurley that can shoot across Home Creek. So it's just like I said, we had the issue here on Slate Creek, okay? Rescue 33 can't get the call because of the way this is structured. Or if we've got one right here, just right at Grundy or below Grundy, common sense would tell you Rescue 33 should be able to get there quicker. So I think we can work with that. And but as of tonight, I'd like to go ahead and ask that we do it on a Slate Creek, all of Slate Creek. And you said the Cowtown? Yeah.
Yeah, that's about halfway between them.
Yeah, Cowtown and down 460. And that'll cover like pretty much everything. Hurley can handle everything all the way across Rock House, not Rock House, Home Creek, Rock Lick. That'll cover Russell Prater. That'll still give them everything except into Big Rock. And so, we can take you down to Looney's Creek, whatever we decide here now. It don't matter. I just think we need to get it.
And I've supported, Randy knows that from day one, I just want the board to understand that I'm gonna support Randy covering Slate Creek, obviously because, any of us could have an accident, Lee might have a heart attack, and I wanna get him out in the plane someday, but, kind of make a joke with this, but, I just want the board to understand that, Knox is working Slate Creek, if I'm not mistaken, right now, so, we're gonna be missing a bunch of 911 calls, so in turn, we're gonna cover some more calls. So we just need to understand that. So, with that being said, I don't have an issue with it. Prater's gonna lose some calls. We're gonna have to cover some of their costs if they do go down in revenue, but.
Remember, that cost is gonna come if we lose calls.
It's gonna come for both, especially,
We're paying the way anyway, okay?
yeah.
We're paying the way anyway.
But again, I think at the end of the day, sitting in these seats, you know, Lee's daughter has a heart attack. He's wanting to, rescue 33, I'm sure, to come and get her, and I don't have an issue with that. Spacing out, we just need the board to understand that, and it needs to be in the minutes, that, you know, there will be some additional costs for probably Prater and Knox for the two for the effects, so.
I'm gonna ask that
the.
I'm gonna ask that the district reach to Looney's Creek, or if they, need to go, stretch out a little further, be up to the dispatch to make out that, the call. Looney's Creek, Cowtown, all the way up Slate Creek, both sides, and then, I'm doing all this, and I've said, I've talked to Lee, and I said, Lee, I don't gain anything other from this, other than the fact that I know somebody's gonna get service quicker. I mean, I'm sitting here doing all this talking, are you good with all this?
That, Mr. Stilner, and, can I say a word there? I worried about when we went from a volunteer rescue squad to paid rescue squads. In order for them to get the money to pay their employees, they're gonna hustle wherever they can go. And it's gonna create quite a problem I see there, but all I would hope is that we could work it out so everybody could have service as quick as they can have the service, instead of worrying about the pay. Now, I've said it before there, whenever one district gets something, all 7 of them want the same. And then whenever you create 7, and then you pay all these people, you're going to have to really step out of your territory a lot of times, because some of them ain't going to get the calls that the other one's going to get there. Now, with that said there, you vote on whatever you want to, but the main thing to me is, hopefully, we can get service to people when they need it. Not whether we're going to get paid or not. Okay?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Dodson's made a motion to amend the DARA to the current structure that we have here with the service area that we talked about. And with that, I'll second that.
Okay, excuse me.
Yeah, I think the map that's an exhibit to the DEER will have to be amended as well as part of the DEER.
That's what we're talking about.
And you got Craig's, boundary lines in the motion, correct?
Lenny's Creek, down to Lenny's Creek, both sides of Slate Creek and Cowtown.
And I just want to point out that a couple months back, one of the papers criticized me for funding rescue squads. In my opinion, this is one of the most important services that we provide for our citizens. It's more important than snow removal. It's more important than cutting weeds. Somebody has a heart attack or something, they'll have a different opinion of this.
You know, I'm gonna clear this up. You know, I made a statement a while ago that I don't gain anything from this. You know, this is gonna cover, you know, nobody in my district, but my heart feels like that it's the only right thing to do for the people up in this area. I mean, I've been on that end of it, waiting on an ambulance to come and pick my sister up, my mom up, my dad up. It's a horrible thing sitting there knowing that, and minutes seems like hours. So it's fair to the people in this area up here, you know, if we see that we need to, maybe expand out or whatever, you know, we'll cross that bridge later. But right now, I think it's the best thing to do to allow Rescue 33 come back in as the primary. And if the sheriff's fine with it, I know I'm fine with it. It's his people that's gonna be dispatching. And, you know, Mr. Dodson, I'm pretty certain that it'll make the people in your district happy, so.
All right, Mr. Maurice. Ready for a vote?
Yes, and again, I already noted this, but of course it'll need to be signed by all the rescue squads and fire departments. The deer.
The discussion, and I'll call the roll. We've got a motion and a second, and start out with Dave.
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lee? Trey? I also vote yes. Okay, that's finished there now. Let's move to public comments. It's open for the floor, and I recognize
Thank you for coming, Randy.
Jody first there. I didn't see Jessica